Greetings, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to be looking at imperfection. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 10th year of the Leadership Japan series. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. My new book, Stop Wasting Money on Training in Japanese, Training de Okane o Mura ni suru no wa yamimashou, and all of my books are available on Amazon. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. Trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentation Japan series, and every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oishia show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is gochisousama. This is what you say after you've had the meal, in appreciation of the meal. Gochisousama. Now, amongst friends, you just say gochisousama. You could say gochisousama deshita, which is the past tense, but gochisousama will be fine. Gochisousama, gochisousama, gochisousama. So after you've finished eating, you just say gochisousama, gochisousama, gochisousama. At the restaurant, when you are ready to pay, you just say to the restaurateur, gochisousama deshita, thank you very much. And that means I'm ready to pay. You can say thank you, arigatou gozaimashita, but you just say gochisousama, gochisousama deshita, thank you very much. That means I'm going to pay. So thank you for the meal, gochisousama, gochisousama, gochisousama. This is episode number 510. Today we're talking about leading imperfect people. Actually, we don't want to lead imperfect people. We want the winners, A players, the motivated and the capable. Fine, and they cost a bomb. So I hope you have deep pockets. If you work for a major corporation, then it is exactly what you can command because you have the bucks to sustain that type of ecosystem. They're also attracted to work for your brand name firm, so it is a happy exchange. If you work for a small to medium enterprise, then life is quite different. There is a constant trade-off of financial resources be tied up in someone who probably won't make much money in the first year against the cost of hiring, onboarding, and training them. The outlays go out in a flood and the return ebbs back in a trickle. Japan, like many other economies, is witnessing a population decline. There will be roughly 1 million less people in Japan every year for the next 10 years at least. That translates into a smaller number of potential staff available to hire, and that means compromises have to be made. We're all getting closer and closer to being happy to get anyone, no matter how imperfect, because we need someone. We'll wind up hiring idiots too, and then have to work out how to deal with them. I was reminded of this the other day. It was a chilly, windy evening in Tokyo when we decided to go for a pizza at the Ebisu branch of a famous Italian pizzeria from Napoli. Our usual format is to drive there. My wife will reconnoiter the table vacancy situation, and if there is a table, then I turn the car around and head for the nearest car park. This evening, I got the thumbs up and started to head for the car park. While I was doing this, I noticed in the rearview mirror my wife was left waiting outside in the cold, which I thought was a bit odd. When I got to the table, I asked her about it, and she told me the waiter made her wait outside in the cold while he served some other people before he organised a table. When paying the bill, I remonstrated with him about why he made my wife stand out in the cold. He looked in his early 40s, so he was no kid. He offered an apology. I asked if he was the manager. He pointed to the manager, and I remonstrated with him too. What I recognised was the manager had made one of those compromises we will all be making, hiring anyone, because you need staff and not being able to be selective about the process. Being busy, the training process was probably focused on systems and procedures rather than service standards. There's also the issue of common sense is a given, except when it isn't. I'm sure the manager would never have imagined this staff member would be so stupid as to make a client wait out in the wind and cold when they could have waited inside. How would you predict and train for that level of imbecilic behaviour? We've been going to that restaurant for over a decade since it opened, but here we have an idiot member of staff jeopardising the lifetime value of a customer in a street lined with competitors. Find out more. We come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also are doing custom in-house programs. We do these in both Japanese and English. We do them face-to-face in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. On the 12th of April, we'll be holding a Dale Carnegie course. This is a really amazing program. How to get your leadership working, how to get your communication, your persuasion skills working, how to be great with people, particularly people not like you, how to work on your stress management, plus how to get change in yourself. Very hard to find all that in one program. This program has got it all. On the 20th of April, we're doing high impact presentations. This is solely focused on making you persuasive. Engage your audience, deliver your message, really get it through to people because it's well structured. You deliver it in an articulate, concise fashion. It's easy to follow. You get so much coaching to improve on that message giving. You get so much coaching to improve on your design. You get so much coaching and feedback to make sure that your delivery is really making an impact with people. This is the program that delivers that. Go to our website at www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, which in Japanese is Zaegyo. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muru ni Sunu wa Yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. If you like learning by watching videos, we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from small and medium enterprises all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. What this means for most of us is we have to change our way of thinking about leading staff. We have to especially prepare for imperfect people entering our world and representing our brand. The onboarding process really needs a rethink. We cannot just be satisfied with teaching them our systems and procedures and then turning them loose on the clients. I'm not a great fan of micromanagement, but in this new world, that is going to be a greater requirement. We'll need to be monitoring what people are doing and how they are doing it in greater detail than ever before. Because you cannot predict idiocy. You have to capture it early and eradicate it. Previously in an early episode, I mentioned the issue of what is actually happening against what you think is happening. As I noted, I tell the new people what I want them to do. And then their peers tell them, don't bother doing that. Who do they follow? To my amazement, they follow their peers' advice rather than mine. How would I even know this deviation was happening? Only because I'm following up and checking the micromanagement I hate having to do, but which becomes more important when hiring imperfect people. Years ago, a boss told me the person has to fit the job, not the other way around. That age has passed in Japan. Today, we have to find ways for the job to fit the person because they won't be a perfect fit. And we won't have too many options to just pitch them overboard and hire a better replacement. That requires a degree of flexibility most of us have probably never grown up with in work as leaders, but we have to change. The external market situation is not in our favour. If we can be more flexible than our competitors, then that is a big business advantage. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then tell your family, friends and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. You can contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Our website is www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put it into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. So be one of them. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.